Okay, so it can be either silly or it can be maybe something meaningful if you want to share. I mean, it can be either one. And because Andrew is saying if he does die, he wants the children to see that this him dying young is not just a tragedy in itself, but that his life, that God has used it for impact. And so he wants the children also to be encouraged by God's faithfulness in this, and that it's not just an empty, meaningless tragedy what's happening.
Whose hand is up first?
Me? Okay.
Straight next to him.
Hi, my name is Kenny.
First I have to say, how do you know this?
Yeah.
How do you run first and know this?
Okay. Hi, my name is Kenny. I knew Andrew through college. We went to UCLA together. So, like, pretty much this entire row right here to take some attention off of me. Went to UCLA with Andrew together. And I first met Andrew when we were pledging for a fraternity. Is a different time in our lives. And then I think his name was, what, Troy McClure? Was it Troy McClure? It was Troy McClure because that was his nickname because if you have anybody ever watched The Simpsons, I think Troy McClure was like a model.
An actor, right?
Pardon?
An actor or something like that?
Actor. No, he was an actor. Was he? Oh yeah, you might remember me from such films as something or another. So Andrew has that poise of an actor, and so that's where we met Andrew, and I met him there. We both, actually everybody that's here right now, dropped out of that process, so nobody here is in that fraternity that I know. But I think we're all the better for it because we knew Andrew from it. And so I knew Andrew from there, and then going beyond that, we used to work together for this company called Burly Bear Networking. Marketing, Burly Bear Marketing, and then we would like do all these random events. We were the guys on campus that handed out like energy drinks. So anytime you went to Andrew's house or my house, you'd see like these crates and crates of AMP energy drinks from Mountain Dew. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but we were like building that. So if anybody needed to stay up late and study, it was, we could help you out. And so we went to all kinds of places. We went to like college football games and off of Sunset to like the Roxy or something like that, and it was really cool. So so I knew Andrew like all of college, from freshman year, from our partying days, from all these legendary debacles that we've had. But even after that, and then he started attending church more. But so I got to see Andrew change. So I've gotten to see Andrew grow, from like a younger party guy to an older party guy to an older mature guy, and then a father. And so I mean I think it's great because even from the beginning I had known him, and we hung out here and there, but I wouldn't say that he was my friend until like after he's changed, and I think he became like a better man and a father. And so this guy's like, he delivered Gracie in the bathroom, right? Technicality. Andrew was present at the moment and providing some form of assistance.
This is the Wikipedia version of it.
But he's a great guy, and of all the people that I've met in college, he's one of the people that I've fully intended to keep in touch with, and that means a lot because you pick and choose your friends, and obviously you're trying to keep in touch with somebody that's in Seattle and Minnesota. It kind of means something, right? But I like Andrew.
Good job, Kenny.
Thanks.
Remember this? Great. The night you guys got engaged, or maybe the next day, you came over and I painted your nails with this color. And you said, oh, that's such a pretty pink on this pale white girl. And on Grace, it looks brown. And our kitchen was torn up and we were covered in, I think, drywall dust. And you guys came over and sat on our bare floor and we enjoyed your stories. My other fun memory of Grace and Andrew was Grace and I were meeting together studying the Book of Ruth, and at that very time you met your Boaz, and we were just thrilled for you guys to just follow the path of being married and having precious little ones, and we've been praying daily as a family for you in these last year and a half, and we're just love you guys.
Just to briefly add to that, we got to know Andrew and Grace at Grace Community Church, and more specifically the Bible study, Grace on Campus at UCLA, which I know that many here today went to as well. And just the parting comment I would make is, Andrew was a man from my perspective, who was pretty serious about his belief in God. He was pretty serious about his faith in the Lord Jesus Christ, and that impressed me. There's a lot of folk who go through college and they're pretty immature. And I think proportionally there's probably more immature people today than mature. And so that was definitely something which I was impressed with Andrew, and he was serious about what he was going to do after college. He had a job lined up with Motorola to go up to Washington. I remember having conversations with him about the whys and the wherefores of whether that was a good decision or whether he should do something else. And he was open to where the Lord would take him, and wanted to make sure he found a good church up there, and was serious about starting a family. And just I could see a young man that was transitioning out of college who was ready to make a lot of the decisions that I saw many people, even in Grace on Campus, that weren't really ready to make. And so that was a parting memory I had of Andrew when he left to go up to Washington. And it was a real shock to me when I first heard the news, and a shock to Judy as well, that you had cancer, and trying to explain that to the kids and so on. And we've just treasured the memories that we've heard from a distance of how you've battled through this, how your faith is held dear and strong, and how you've continued to lead your family. And I applaud you for that. And keep up the good fight. Put on the armor of God and continue to fight the whole way. And as a family, I'm sure many here as well, we'll just continue to lift you up to the Lord, and we know that you'll be in His strength in the coming days.
If you guys don't know the full update about how he's doing, he wanted me to tell you that. And so where we're at now is that in September, many of you may know that he had a scan, and the cancer has now spread to his spine, that's behind his neck, and in the cartilage around his thyroid. And so there's really nothing else that can be done, because you can't remove your spine, and there's no use in trying to remove the rest of, he would have to have like his voice box removed or something. There's no use in doing that if it's in his spine. So we have no medical options really available to us at the moment, and we'll just have another scan in about 2 or 3 months and just see if what the cancer is doing now. And so Andrew is at the point where he's done with chemotherapy. It didn't work, and it's really just poison, and it's miserable, and so he has no desire to do any of that stuff anymore. And but at the moment, that's not even an option. And so aside from coming here to visit everyone and come on vacation and have fun, we are also here to do to do an alternative therapy in the Loma Linda area, and it's nutritional. So it's about like 13 juices a day through a 12-hour period, and various supplements and things like that. So I guess our prayer request is that we still continue to ask the Lord to heal him, because we can't expect doctors or man to be able to have power over a man's life, but God has power over a man's life, and if God wants to chooses to heal him, it doesn't matter how late in the game it is. He can still heal him despite what anybody says. So we continue to ask for prayer that the Lord would glorify his healing power and heal Andrew if it's his will.
Andrew's cousin. I've known him since birth, basically. I was born a month after him, so we grew up together, and it's been really amazing, to see him grow up through the years, because when we were really little, it was very funny. If you ask him about his childhood, he'll tell you that the word that would describe him would be naughty. And I like to think that I was like a little angel. I didn't have any input on these schemes, but whenever Andrew would have a good idea, somehow Cousin Dan would always get wrapped up in it as well. So whether it was hitting each other with baseball bats, taking wagons down really steep hills and falling out of them, I can't even think of some of these other things, like boxing each other with Cousin Clark's boxing gloves. We had a lot of fun as little kids, and he got me into trouble a lot. But even though he got me into trouble a lot, like when he moved to the East Coast, away from the city that we were living in as kids, it was definitely probably like the saddest thing that happened in my life, because he was like my brother growing up. We were the same age, really close, living in the same area. But over the years, there are definitely times where we weren't as close, and I only saw him, every couple of years after a while. But he's always been like incredible brother to me, even in times like where we weren't that close. I remember one summer I was here in LA for a summer job when I was working at a movie studio, and it was actually a really, really kind of like dark point in my life. I had grown up in church, and I had never, I had always gone to church, and it was always something that, I was supposed to do, and this was in college, and I had already kind of like fallen away from going to church or believing in God necessarily. But Andrew really reached out to me that summer in a way that like I'll never forget, like him being there for me, and I know Grace was they were just starting to get to know each other at the time. But I'll always remember that, and the fact that he reached out to me during that time. And by reading his blog recently, actually, in the last year and a half, I've been really inspired by his blog and some other people in my life to start going back to church. And so for the first time in like my 27 years of life, it's like I go to church now every week, not because I'm supposed to, but because I love it, and it's amazing, and it changes the way you look at life. And I know that Andrew's definitely been a big inspiration for me, and the same way that my dad looked after his dad when they were in graduate school, and my dad first told his dad about Jesus, is kind of returning the favor this generation. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it.